Olivia "Livvy" Dunne has done more than some people accomplish in a lifetime, including a retirement. Here's everything the gymnast and TikTok star has packed into just a couple decades. In April 2025, Dunne announced her retirement from gymnastics, expressing a profound sense of gratitude to the sport, even calling it her first love.
Time flies when you're having fun, and that's exactly how the past 20 years in this sport have felt.
As much as Dunne clearly enjoyed her time as a gymnast, she seems to have embraced the next phase of her life. She told USA Today Sports, "I think the transition from being a D1 athlete, any sport, to no longer doing your passion, I think that is a very hard transition. But for me, luckily, I had a lot of obligations outside of gymnastics to occupy my focus." She then cited a brand deal with Invisalign as an exciting new opportunity. That said, Dunne added that she couldn't help but miss her teammates at LSU, stating, "It was so much fun, it was like a sisterhood, and I think those girls will be my sisters for pretty much the rest of my life." Olivia Dunne was raised in Hillsdale, New Jersey. When she was 3, she noticed that her older cousin had something she knew she needed, a pink, sparkly leotard. Dunne told Elle, "I was like, 'Mum, I want that.' And she said, 'Well, you can't have a leotard unless you do gymnastics.' So I was like, 'Sign me up.'" Dunne remembers the strength she had at a very young age. She was quickly able to hold herself up on the men's rings at a Hillsdale gym with no trouble at all. By the time she was 6, she was taking classes at ENA Gymnastics in Paramus, New Jersey, where her coaches noticed her natural talent. Gymnastics training is divided into levels, ranging from 1 through 10, with 1 being the easiest and 10 being the most difficult. Dunne began as a level 4 at ENA when she was 6, but her coach, Craig Zappa, almost immediately bumped her training up to a level 10. From there, she won several state championships and skipped several levels. When a gymnast reaches level 10, they can either stay at that level and possibly receive college scholarships or aim for the elite level. For Dunne, there was no question which option she was going to choose. She told NorthJersey.com, "I knew I was going to make it. I had confidence in myself." And she was right. In May of 2014, she became the youngest elite competitor in the United States at the time. After achieving elite status, she made her first competitive debut at the American Classic in Huntsville, Texas. Although she placed 28th in the competition, Dunne was competing with girls much older than her and was able to show off her talent. She was also becoming more invested in social media around this time. Dunne told Elle, "I was 10 or 11, and there were younger girls looking up to me and people starting to recognize me. To be someone else's role model meant the world to me. So, naturally, she began posting her new gymnastic skills, tricks, and training practices." By the time Dunne reached 7th grade, her mother, Kat, opted to homeschool her so she could put most of her efforts into training. During her homeschooling, Kat made sure to teach Olivia the importance of using social media to her advantage. Kat explained to Elle, "My kids all grew up with technology in their hands, and I've always been a big advocate of putting technology in the hands of kids and teaching them how to use it safely." Aside from wanting more time to train, the decision to homeschool Dunne likely also came from the fact that from a young age, everyone knew she would be able to handpick any college she wanted to attend. However, this choice came with a price. Dunne admitted to getting lonely and feeling as if she was missing out by not attending public school.
I pretty much sacrificed my summers, those pool days, those beach days with your friends. I was in the gym training.
To combat these feelings, she would go to football games at her former school and catch up with friends she hadn't seen during the week. When kids would ask how her training was going, it made her feel special and reminded her why she was doing what she does. In 2017, Dunne made the USA Gymnastics Women's Junior National Team, but competing at that level also meant training at the Karolyi Ranch in rural Huntsville, Texas. The 2,000-acre center was created for training the top female gymnasts in the United States. During the ranch's time as the U.S. Women's National Team Training Center and a U.S. Olympic training site, there was much more going on beneath the surface. In 2016, gymnasts began stepping up and speaking out publicly against Larry Nassar, the team doctor at the ranch. Many alleged that they had suffered sexual abuse at the hands of Nassar, and that these occurrences had been going on for years. Nassar claimed his actions were for medical reasons, and journalists reported that Bella and Marta Karolyi knew what was going on, but chose to do nothing. Dunne recalls her years at Karolyi Ranch as abusive, but she knew that going there was the only way to achieve her dreams. The Nassar investigation was an emotional time for everyone involved in gymnastics. Nassar was sentenced to life in prison, and the ranch permanently closed. In spring 2017, Dunne accepted a full athletic scholarship to Louisiana State University with the intention of beginning college in 2020. That year, she also won 3 medals at the US Classic in Chicago, along with additional medals at the P&G Championships in California. She made her senior debut in 2018 in Italy, describing the experience as really fun. Shortly after she got back, however, Dunne suffered an ankle injury. She took most of 2019 off to recover, but that didn't stop her from pushing forward. She told Flow Gymnastics, "As long as I'm training my hardest, I know I'll compete my best." Dunne signed her national letter of intent to LSU for gymnastics on a full athletic scholarship in the fall of 2019.
Competing on LSU's gymnastics team is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I figured why not do it now.
For Dunne, beginning college was a major step because one of her goals is to amplify the presence of college sports. She told Sports Illustrated, "As a female athlete, I hope I can bring attention to how amazing college sports are and how hard college athletics are. In gymnastics, a lot of people only watch the Olympics every 4 years, and I feel like I've been able to use my platform to bring an audience to college gymnastics." When the spring of 2020 hit, Olivia Dunne was on vacation with her family in Florida. They found themselves stuck on its beaches amid the national lockdown, so she figured she should try and make the most of her time there. Since TikTok was on the rise and becoming ever more popular, Dunne began posting on the platform. She started uploading simple TikToks of herself demonstrating various moves on the beach, and began calling the series Beachnastics. The videos were met with millions of views and thousands of comments praising Dunne's talent and beauty. Before long, she was gaining hundreds of thousands of new followers each week. By late summer 2021, Dunne became the most followed college athlete in the world and has since accumulated a combined 12 million followers between TikTok and Instagram.
To have a following means so much to me because I really want to bring the hype to LSU.
Due to NCAA restrictions, Dunne wasn't able to profit off her social media popularity right off the bat. However, many student athletes found the NCAA's rules against student athletes earning a profit off their names to be unfair, so they decided to fight back. Students took their issue to court, arguing that these restrictions violated federal antitrust laws by not allowing college athletes to receive adequate compensation for their labor. Finally, in June 2021, the courts ruled unanimously in favor of student athletes, lifting the ban on using their name, image, and likeness for profit. For male athletes, this was an exciting prospect, but for women athletes like Dunne, it was life-changing. She told People, "With gymnastics, you peak when you're about 15 years old. After college, there's nothing really for gymnasts. There's so many professional leagues for men's sports after college, but there's such a small time frame for women to capitalize." As soon as the restrictions were lifted, WME Sports, a talent agency with clients like Venus and Serena Williams, announced on Twitter that it had signed Dunne. After this, waves of companies such as Forever 21, Grubhub, and Too Faced Cosmetics reached out to Dunne for paid endorsement deals. When she was still in school, the increased attention around Dunne forced her to finish her schooling online, because, as she quickly realized, the positive attention can go hand in hand with the negative. In an interview with Today, Dunne called one incident involving a crowd of male fans insane. At a gymnastics meet that she was supposed to attend, dozens of men gathered outside of the building chanting, "We want Livvy," when they noticed she was not competing that day because of an injury. In her interview with Elle, Dunne had this to say about all of the attention from male fans. "It's hard to handle at times, definitely, because I'm just a 20-year-old student. I think people do forget that." Thanks to all of her endorsement deals, Dunne became the highest-paid NCAA women's athlete, bringing in 7 figures each year. Dunne and gymnast Sunisa Lee were the only 2 women to make the list of the top 10 highest-paid college athletes.
I'm very grateful to be making 7 figures. It is very cool that someone in college has the opportunity to do that now.
Dunne hopes more women make it to the list before long. She told People, "Opportunities for men and women in NCAA sports should be equal. I want to show you can do whatever you love, whether it's gymnastics or music or painting, and capitalize on it and create your own business." Dunne had even more to tell Sports Illustrated, saying, "I want to continue to elevate women's sports as a whole because they really deserve the same publicity as the men's. We do equal work. We put in equal time in our facilities every day and in school, so I feel like it would be right for this to be equal." So far, other college athletes, women in particular, have struggled to reach the level of success in attaining sponsorships that Olivia Dunne has. A 2024 report in Forbes found that, at some universities, as many as 98% of name, image and likeness, or NIL, deals go to men. In July 2023, when she was still at LSU, Dunne started a program to support young women athletes in their quest for sponsorships. She told USA Today Sports in 2025,
I started a fund at LSU called the Livvy Fund, and it's to help provide NIL deals for female athletes.
Dunne hopes she will be remembered for encouraging other young women to monetize their talents. She said, "I think that's part of my legacy as a college athlete at LSU. I would love to keep providing NIL deals and help educating women on, working with brands and getting those deals, because it's definitely more difficult as a female athlete to get NIL." Noting the discrepancy between the financial opportunities for men and women athletes, Dunne said her goal was to help empower women to be bosses of their own life. During her time at LSU, the New York Times approached Dunne for an interview about her opportunities under the NCAA's revised NIL rules. Dunne initially accepted, but what came next was a total surprise. Dunne told the What's Your Story podcast that she was asked to put on her LSU-issued leotard in front of the balance beam at the school's gymnastics facility.
And then they blew it up on the screen and put the headline, "Sex Sells."
Dunne spoke out against the headline in her Instagram stories. After calling out the publication, Dunne received a wave of support on social media. Her post gained so much traction that Sports Illustrated reached out and proposed a photo shoot. Dunne accepted. She said that people loved her social media clapback. Dunne met Paul Skeens when they were both students at LSU. While she was busy pursuing gymnastics, Skeens was focused on baseball. Skeens only pitched for LSU for one season before jumping to pro ball. He now pitches for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dunne and Skeens' busy schedules as Division I college athletes almost kept them apart. Dunne told GQ in a 2025 interview, "I could never actually watch him do his thing because every Friday that he would start, we were competing." She couldn't reach Skeens on social media either, because he wouldn't follow her back on Instagram. She got her payback though with this painfully awkward moment when Dunne dodged his kiss on live TV. All these barriers made Dunne and Skeens' relationship complicated at first. However, the two athletes did finally manage to connect. The couple has certainly made waves on social media, but they try to keep their personal lives as private as they can. Dunne told People, "I've definitely learned over the past few years this past year mostly, that keeping certain things private is okay." The NCAA changed how college gymnastics events were scored in the 2024-2025 school year. A perfect 10 became almost impossible to get, and Olivia Dunne didn't like it at all. The Guardian notes that performances that would have previously earned a score of 9.9 were downgraded to a 9.8. That may not sound like a huge deal to an outsider, but Dunne felt that it could decrease the sport's popularity. A perfect 10 is like a grand slam in baseball. It gets the crowd excited and engaged. Dunne wrote on X, "I am sitting here watching NCAA gymnastics and the empty seats are concerning. If you want fans to enjoy the sport and increase viewership, you have to look at what makes the crowds go crazy. People also want to see good work be obviously rewarded. Dunne worries audiences won't feel that's happening anymore." As she's grown up, Olivia Dunne's love of athletic gear has evolved into a taste for high fashion. The former college athlete hopes to carry her love of clothing into the future, especially after she had a great experience posing for the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. She told USA Today Sports,
Yeah, it was really fun. I love working with Sports Illustrated. They make me feel confident.
That photo shoot quickly opened doors to more opportunities, and Dunne soon became a Sports Illustrated runway model, a role she totally rocked. During one show, the gymnast surprised the audience by doing the splits right there on the runway. While the move may not have been part of a typical fashion show, Dunne was able to shake things up on the catwalk in a really big way. She also managed to establish herself as a fresh new face in the fashion industry and a force to be reckoned with in the future.